Hello and welcome back to another gluten-free, dairy-free dinner recipe video. So fun fact, your girl just finished taking her final exam for nutritional therapy, and today I just finished my capstone presentation for school. So I am officially done with nutritional therapy school and I graduate officially in like 2 weeks, but everything's done, all my assignments are done, my final is done, my presentation's done. And every time that I kind of go over like a big hurdle where I've been like studying and preparing and all this stuff, the second I'm done, I just want to film and I just want to vlog and I just want to do YouTube. So this is a video that I've been wanting to share with you guys for about like a month now. And chili in general is naturally dairy-free and gluten-free, especially like if you don't put like cheese or sour cream as like toppings. But I'm gonna show it to you anyways because I found this recipe on Pinterest and it's really good. But what I'm really excited about is sharing the gluten-free, dairy-free cornbread recipe. So I've made both of these once and both of them were so good. And I was honestly so shocked with the cornbread especially. And I was like, I have to share. I have to. So I am going to start off with chili first and show you everything you need and get the chili going, and then I'll do the cornbread next. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven for the cornbread to 375. That way it can get going. But for the chili, what you're gonna need is a pound of ground beef. You're gonna chop up half of a yellow onion. You need a tablespoon of minced garlic. You need a can of pinto beans. And the recipe calls for just 1 can of kidney beans, but I like to do 2. So 3 cans of beans total, 1 pinto, 2 kidney beans. And then you're going to use a can of diced tomatoes, a full can of tomato sauce. And then I believe, let's see, you're going to do 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. So you won't use this whole can, and then you'll need some maple syrup. And then for seasonings, you'll need chili powder, obviously, garlic powder, and then some cumin and smoked paprika. You need some salt and pepper. And then lastly, you'll need some bone broth. So that's all the ingredients you need. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and chop up the onion, half the onion, and a tablespoon of minced garlic. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start heating my pot. So we're gonna put the ground beef, the onion, and the garlic all in the bottom of our pot and cook it together. And then once that is all sauteed and cooked, we just add all the other ingredients in. And then we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes, I believe. I feel like it really just depends on how long it takes to thicken. So you want it to kind of simmer long enough to where the chili gets thick. So I feel like last time I did this, it took me closer to like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the chili, and then we will transition to the cornbread. Okay, I put everything in the pot. So now we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then once it reaches a boil, we'll bring it back down to a simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. And let's see, I ended up doing, for salt, it calls for half a teaspoon. I ended up doing a full teaspoon. So yeah, I'm gonna clear up my mess a little bit and then get ready to start the cornbread. While the chili's going, we're gonna work on our cornbread. So for cornbread, you're gonna need 2 eggs. You need, let's see, 1 1/4 cup of milk of choice. So I like to use Elmhurst, their oat milk. It's only 3 ingredients, so I prefer Elmhurst brand whenever possible. And then it says a half a cup of vegetable oil, but vegetable oil and like canola oil are inflammatory oils. So for baking, whenever I need something to replace a vegetable oil or a canola oil or something like that, I use avocado oil. So for avocado oil, it doesn't really have like a flavor. It's a very mild flavor, so it's really good for baking, because like with olive oil, you can really tell there's like an olivey taste to it, but avocado oil doesn't have that. So it's really good for like cakes, cupcakes, baking, because you can't really taste it. So I'm gonna use avocado oil. And then you need 3 tablespoons of honey, 1 1/2 cups of yellow ground cornmeal, a tablespoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and then a 3/4 cup of gluten-free flour. And I typically like to use the one-to-one King Arthur gluten-free flour. I use this for like all my cupcakes, cakes, any sort of baking. So what we're going to do is separate essentially wet ingredients from dry ingredients and then combine them. So in one bowl, we are going to whisk together the eggs, olive oil, and oat milk. Oh, and the honey, okay. And then in a separate bowl, we're gonna do all the dry ingredients, and then we're gonna pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Now, I did just realize that I am out of my like spray. So normally I get the Chosen Foods has like a spray can of avocado oil. So I'm just going to have to put some avocado oil and kind of like rub it around each little cupcake thing, muffin. What is that called? The cups. Groove. Just gonna have to coat these things, whatever they're supposed to be called. Normally I have a spray and I'll just like spray each one really quick. That's what I did last time, but I forgot that I'm out of spray. So let's go ahead and start mixing together the wet and dry ingredients. A 1/4 cup measure to try and make this as clean as possible. Whenever a recipe says like 25 minutes or like whatever the minimum time amount is, I always do like 5 minutes before that. So I set the timer for 20 minutes just in case they need to be checked earlier than the 25-minute mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up, and then I will show you everything and all the final products when they're ready. Okay, hi Tiny. I feel like you can't really see it, but they're coming along. They're almost done. Got 40 seconds and then we'll check them. Okay, let's see. These look, oh, they look so good, my goodness. Oh, they look so good. Oh, those look perfect. Okay, let me do the toothpick test. Now, this is at 20 minutes. I'm taking them out and checking them. So, that looks good. Looks good to me, friends. Yeah, those are totally good. Okay, perfect. I mean, these suckers look flawless. These look perfect and they smell so good. I set them at 375 for 20 minutes. The recipe says 25 to 30, but I always like to kind of check them a little bit before. So these came out at 20 minutes. So you might want to do that for yourself as well. Everything's ready. I cleaned the kitchen. Normally when I do a bigger like meal like this, especially when I'm filming and things get kind of messy, I will do the dishes. Normally I cook and Ryan cleans, but Ryan's at a pickleball tournament, and with stuff like this where I'm using a lot more like measuring cups and teaspoons and tablespoons and lots of seasonings and stuff, it's always like a little bit more dishes than he normally does. And he is an acts of service and quality time love language guy. And so whenever I do the dishes for him, he's always like, did you do the dishes? And it means a lot to him. So I made sure to do the dishes and clean up the mess I made. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate this and put the chili in a bowl, make it look all nice and pretty, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so in my personal opinion, hot sauce with chili just really brings the flavor together. So I eventually want to figure out how much hot sauce to put in a full batch of chili because I think it tastes so good. But for now, I just use it as a topping, especially if Ryan doesn't want the hot sauce. So I normally do like about a tablespoon with a bowl of chili, and I think that is just so good. So you can use any kind of hot sauce you like. This one is the buffalo hot sauce from Frank's, and then you can also definitely do their regular, but I like Frank's hot sauce the best. It's probably because I grew up with it. My dad always put hot sauce in our chili, and Frank's hot sauce specifically, and it's so good. My dad makes the best chili. And then for the cornbread, I put this dairy-free country crock plant butter on it. Now, as a nutritional therapist, now that I've graduated school and now that I've finished school, actually my graduation's for a couple weeks, so I finished my school. I haven't got my certificate just yet. Graduation is in 2 weeks. But as a nutritional therapist, this is not the best. I will admit it, but nobody's perfect, and sometimes if you have a dairy allergy or a dairy sensitivity, you do what you can and you do your best with the cards you've been dealt, in my opinion. So this does have some inflammatory oils that we don't love, okay? We don't. We love the avocado oil and olive oil, and we try to use non-inflammatory oils when possible. But for things like this is about the only like not great thing that I eat, I would say. And I feel like that's kind of the goal, is that for the most part, your diet is great and you eat a lot of whole foods in their natural forms, non-inflammatory foods, etc. But sometimes you can't win them all. I am so excited to be done with school so I have more time to dedicate to content and YouTube and building my business. I will be taking clients in 2024, so if you are interested in working with me for nutritional therapy, I will also leave a waitlist sign-up form in the description box. If you are interested at all, I am really planning to focus on acne and gut health. I know that I've talked a lot about my acne journey on YouTube before, and I would love to help others with their acne through the gift of nutritional therapy. So if you're interested at all in that, I will leave my business email in the description if you need to email me with any questions you might have. And then I'll also leave the sign-up form in the description box, as well as these recipes. So both of these cornbread and chili recipes were from Pinterest, so I will leave those down below as well. So if you enjoyed this and if it was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm also planning on doing Vlogmas to some degree, and I really want to film a lot coming up soon and in December. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.